Hey everybody, Dr. Kevin again here, and welcome back to our 30-day spine rehabilitation series. Over the course of 30 days, I hope to show you how to create a full-body, comprehensive back and spine rehabilitation program from complete scratch in what I believe are the safest, simplest, and most effective ways possible. Now, the first 10 days, we spent a lot of time going over various mobility exercises, specifically targeted for your upper back. And then the last couple sessions, we started to work on teaching you how to stretch and open up your quads and your hip flexors, since I believe that those are the most important areas that people should focus on in terms of relieving pressure off of your spine and just make sure that your body is starting to move correctly. Now, the next couple of days, we're going to be starting our core strengthening series, where I'll be going over my favorite 4 core strengthening exercises. And again, I think that these exercises are the best exercises at a starter beginner's level that really helps you open the door to some more advanced exercises down the line. But make no mistake, even though these exercises are generally considered basic, generally considered beginner, I think that these exercises, when done correctly with the proper form, are always challenging. They're always helpful, and they always just really provide a really healthy level of activation and stimulation in your abdominal muscles, in your sides, in your back. And what's also good about these exercises is that they create minimal stress and minimal strain on your spine itself. So again, when done appropriately, it really lowers the risk of potential injury and potential increased strain on your back, but really maximizes the potential of giving you a really good just training effect and just a healthy level of activation in your core and in your back. So we're going to be starting today with the bird dog exercise. And the bird dog exercise is, again, I think, one of the best introductory exercises into core strengthening. So again, it's very easy to do. It's very simple in theory. And it's also very, very safe on the spine when done correctly. So I'll be showing you a couple of variations of the bird dog exercise. I'll show you a couple common mistakes that people make when they originally start to do this exercise, and then we'll really show you how to do it with what I believe is the best form and best technique to really give you a good level of stimulation and activation in your core, in your back, and in your hips as well. So let's get right into the level 1 version of the bird dog, and let's get right into it. So with the bird dog exercise, we'll have you start on your hands and your knees like so. And the level 1 version of the bird dog is just going to have you start by just doing a simple arm lift like so. Okay. Now this might seem a little easy or a little basic to you, but I want you to concentrate on a couple of very key elements here. One, I'm not just lifting my arm in the air just out of the blue. All right. What I'm doing is before I'm lifting my arm, I'm actually creating a lot of tightness and tension within my abdominal muscles here, because what I want to do is make sure that I'm preventing any movement from happening in my back here. Now, the most common mistake that we'll see people make when they start this exercise is they're just not concentrating or focusing on what their core or what their back is actually doing. So they end up just kind of randomly like lifting the arm or just lifting the arms in the air without even really paying attention to what's really happening at the level of the back or at the level of the core. So what I want you to do instead is to just pay attention to what's happening to your back and just try to limit any movements at all occurring through your back as you're lifting your arm, and also consciously contract and just try to engage the muscles of your abdominal muscles, because the muscles in your abdominals is what's actually going to provide a level of stability for your spine to prevent it from actually moving. So it looks something like this, where I'm going to just kind of clamp down and tighten down, and I'm just going to squeeze my abdominals a little bit and just very slowly lift my arm up as high as I can to about here. Instead of just bringing my arm down, I actually want to actively pull my arm back down to the side, trying to engage my lats and try to engage my side, and also try to engage my core along the way. So let's just show it to you a couple more times. So let's try the left side here, where the arm comes up, clamping down my abdominal muscles. Take a nice deep breath in, breathe out. And on the exhale, I'm also pushing, and I'm pulling my arm back down to the beginning. So let's try it a couple more times. So arm comes up, nice and slow, nice and controlled. just limiting any movement through my back, through my core, and pull my arm back down while exhaling. Nice and slow. Again, back staying really straight, trying to limit any movement through my back. Breathe in to the top, exhale, and pull the arm back down. And let's just show it one more time. Right arm up, nice and slow, it's controlled. Make sure my back is not moving at all. Inhale, exhale, pull my arm back down very slowly, and let's do the left. Okay, so that's it for the level 1 bird dog with just the arms. And again, this is just to teach you some of the basics of how to consciously engage your abdominals while your arm is moving, while also teaching you how to create full stability, which means to prevent any movement occurring through your spine as you move your limb. So let's get right into it. Okay, so let's get into level 2 version of the bird dog. So we'll have you start on your hands or your knees. And while level 1, we started teaching you how to lift an arm with a tight core and a straight back. Level 2, we'll be teaching you how to lift a leg while trying to maintain a straight and neutral spine as well. So now the most common problem that we'll see people encounter when they're doing this version of the bird dog is when they start to lift their leg, they're not paying attention to what's actually happening at their back. So oftentimes we'll see a person's back starting to arch, their hips start to get uneven or starts to get not level. So what I want you to focus on instead, again, it's just similar to level 1, just make sure that you are limiting any movement occurring through your back, especially making sure your back isn't arching as you kick your leg back. Also, make sure you try to keep your hips as level or as even as possible. Don't focus too much in the beginning on how high the leg is going. If it's going to sacrifice a bent back or uneven hips. So I'd rather you keep a straight back with level hips and your leg not go up as high, as long as you're able to maintain, again, a flat back and level hips. So let's get into the actual demonstration. So I'm going to just kind of grip and claw my fingertips into the mat here. And what that's going to do is just going to provide an extra level of strength and stability for my upper body, and also just kind of engage my oblique muscles to provide another level of stability through my core. Okay, and I just want to very, very slowly just kind of slide my leg back to start, and then just lift it up just a little bit. Really focusing on trying to contract and engage my glute muscle through here, while again, making sure that I'm not letting any movement occur through my back at all, while also making sure my hips are level, so make sure that I'm not rotating outwards, okay? Let's hold it for about 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and pull the leg back down. And let's do the left leg, same thing. So I'm just gripping my fingertips into the ground, tightening my abs, just kicking my leg back, and then lifting it up, squeezing that left glute, making sure my back is staying completely straight, my hips are level. 3, 2, 1, and pull the leg back down. We're after about a 5-second hold with the hip for maximum effectiveness, especially in the beginning. Let's try the right leg a couple more times. Slide it back, kick it up, straight back. 2, 1, pull the leg back in. Nice and slow, nice and controlled. Try the left leg. Slide it back, kick it up nice and slow. 4, 3, 2, 1. Pull the leg back in. And one more time on each leg. So sliding the right leg back, kicking it up as high as I can without my back moving. Hold. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pull the leg back in. And one more time. Left leg. Nice and slow. Nice and controlled. Core stays tight. Back stays flat. 3, 2, 1, and down. Okay, so that's it for the level 2 variation of the bird dog. Again, done with the level of speed and the level of control that I'm trying to demonstrate. The exercise is actually pretty challenging. You'll actually find it's actually quite stimulating. You'll feel a lot of activation through your core. Sometimes you'll start to feel your body getting out of balance a little bit, and that's completely fine. Again, I would advise that you don't rush through this. Take your time, just go as slowly as possible, and just learn how to perform and get a good feel for what a good quality repetition feels like, instead of just going through the motions, and really pay attention to what's happening at the level of your hips and of your back to get the maximum effectiveness out of the exercise. So let's get into the level 3 variation. Okay, let's get into the level 3 variant. And this level 3 version is the version of the exercise that most people are going to be very familiar with. If you've ever been in physical therapy before, or if you've ever searched for core exercises to do on the internet, then you're going to probably see this exercise in some way, shape, or form. But I would say that the most common mistake that people make is, again, similar to the first two variations. They're just not focusing on what's happening through their back. They're not focusing on what's happening at their core, and they're just kind of going through the motions, just trying to shoot for some random number of sets and repetitions. And again, not really focusing on what their back, what the core is actually doing. So how we want to approach this exercise to make sure that you're doing it with the proper form and the proper technique is, again, just to try to limit any movement occurring through your back. Make sure that your back is staying as straight as possible, while making sure that your hips are staying level, while also focusing on just keeping a level of contraction and activation of your core muscles the entire way. Now, similar to the leg exercise, we don't really care too much how high the arm and the leg goes, especially if that means you're going to sacrifice the position and the stability of your spine. So we'd much rather you go a little bit lower with your arm and your leg with a very straight back, because this is going to provide a much higher quality level of stability and activation through your core and through your back. So let's get into the actual demonstration. So I'm going to be lifting my left arm and my right leg. So you want to make sure that when you're lifting your arm or your leg, try to keep it to the opposite. So if any time my left arm goes up, my right leg will also come up as well, like so. Okay, so let's just show it one more time, just a little bit slower. So left arm, right leg, go up nice and slow, nice and controlled, trying to limit any movement occurring through my back, squeezing my glute, keeping my abs tight, hold for 3, 2, 1, and then pull the arm and leg back in. Don't just bring your arm and leg back down, really pull it back down, and you'll really start to feel an increased level of activation in your muscles when you approach it like that. So let's try the right arm and left leg. So same thing, nice and slow, nice and controlled. 3, 2, 1, and pull the arm and leg back down. Again, height doesn't really matter. What matters is the control of your spine and the positioning of your hips. Let's show a couple more times on each side. Left arm, right leg. Squeeze and hold at the top. 3, 2, 1. Pull the arm and leg back down. Nice and slow. Nice and controlled. Right arm, left leg. One more time. So up here. 3, 2, 1. And pull the arm and leg back down. Nice and slow. Nice and controlled. So that's it for the bird dog exercise. Just try to go through the different variations and just stick with the level that you feel most confident with. And again, just as a reminder, keep your back straight, keep your core tight, don't go fast, take it slow, take it easy, and really take your time to really get a good feel and a good sense of just awareness of what your body is actually doing as you're going through these exercises. That's going to give you the best chance of success in terms of The exercise really providing a ton of value in terms of helping you feel stronger, more stable, and just overall better connected from your brain into your body. So that's it for the bird dog, and that's it for day 11. And we hope to see you again for day 12. We'll be going over the next core exercise in our series. So have a wonderful day, and we hope to see you again next time. Take care.